picture this, a battlefield, right? Where every single radio transmission or every whisper could be intercepted by the enemy. That was the reality in World War II, where the outcome often depended not just on troops, not just on tanks, but on this whole other battle, the silent battle of codes and ciphers.
Yeah, it's amazing how in a war dominated by brute force, this almost invisible world of cryptography became like a decisive factor. Really a war of secrets, where breaking a code, could be just as valuable as like capturing a key objective or something.
Exactly. And one of the most iconic stories in this hidden war has got to be the Enigma machine. I mean, the Germans, they thought they'd created this unbreakable code.
Yeah, they had every reason to be confident. It was like a masterpiece of mechanical complexity. So each time a letter was typed, you have this series of rotating wheels that scramble the message, creating a code so intricate that it seemed basically impossible to decipher without another Enigma machine. Set to the exact same configuration. Think of it like, I don't know, like a combination lock. But instead of just a few numbers, you have millions and millions of possible settings.
So how on earth did the Allies even begin to crack this thing? It must have seemed like an impossible task.
Well, the scale of the challenge
Yeah.
is what makes the story of Bletchley Park so remarkable. This top secret facility in England became like the hub for this team of brilliant minds. It wasn't just mathematicians. You had linguists, chess champions, even crossword puzzle enthusiasts, all united by this intellectual prowess and burning determination to break the Enigma.
And at the heart of this team, you have Alan Turing, a true visionary.
Oh, absolutely. Turing was instrumental in developing the bomb, a machine specifically designed to counter Enigma. But it wasn't a simple one-to-one solution. The real breakthrough came when the codebreakers started to notice these patterns in the German messages. Seemingly insignificant things, like weather reports.
Yeah.
That always followed the same format.
So even in all this complex code, there were like glimpses of human predictability. That gave them a foothold.
Exactly. By exploiting those patterns, they were able to start narrowing down the possible Enigma settings, gradually chipping away at the seemingly impenetrable wall of the German code. And the impact of breaking Enigma, can't be overstated. It gave the Allies a critical advantage in key battles from the Atlantic to the North African campaign.
It's amazing to think that these small details, a routine weather report, could have such a profound impact on the course of the whole war. It shows that even in the midst of all this chaos and destruction, human patterns can emerge, and those patterns can be exploited. But as crucial as breaking enemy codes was, the Allies also needed their own secure ways to communicate, especially in the Pacific theater.
Right, and that's where the story of the Navajo Code Talkers comes in, a truly remarkable example of how culture and language became a weapon.
Yeah, I've heard a bit about them, but I'd love to hear more.
Well, the U.S. Marines, they recruited Navajo men to develop a code based on their native language, which was incredibly complex and virtually unknown outside of their community. Imagine trying to learn a language that had no written form, relied heavily on tonal nuances, and had an entirely different structure than any European language.
Like trying to decipher an alien language or something.
Yeah. Exactly, and that's precisely why it was so effective. The Navajo Code Talkers would transmit these messages using carefully chosen Navajo words to represent military terms. For example, they used the word for hummingbird to represent a fighter plane, iron fish for submarine, and so on. It was like a code within a code. And the Japanese were completely baffled by it.
So the very things that made the Navajo language so difficult to learn for outsiders became its greatest strength. It's a brilliant example of thinking outside the box and leveraging cultural knowledge to gain an advantage.
Indeed, and the Code Talkers, they proved their worth. In countless battles across the Pacific, notably during the Battle of Iwo Jima, they relayed over 800 messages without a single error, facilitating crucial communication. That helped secure a hard-fought victory. Their contribution remained largely classified for years after the war, testament to its effectiveness and the continued importance of keeping such innovations secret.
It's just incredible to think how a language spoken by a relatively small group of people could become such a powerful tool in a global conflict.
It highlights the importance of diversity and recognizing the value of different perspectives. Sometimes the most effective solutions come from the least expected places. But while the Navajo Code Talkers were ensuring secure communication for the Allies in the Pacific, on the other side of that vast ocean, the Japanese were relying on their own sophisticated cipher system, known as the Purple Cipher.
And just like the Germans with Enigma, they believed they had created an unbreakable code.
Yes, and to their credit, the Purple Cipher was remarkably complex, primarily used by the Japanese Foreign Office. For diplomatic and military communication, it was considered by many to be just as secure as Enigma, if not more so. But the Americans, they weren't about to be deterred.
And that's where Operation Magic comes in.
Right.
This is the American effort to break the Purple Cipher.
Exactly. Operation Magic brought together this dedicated team of code breakers, linguists, mathematicians, determined to unravel the secrets of this enigmatic cipher. And just like with Enigma, the path to success involved a combination of brilliant minds, relentless determination, and a bit of luck. One of the biggest challenges, the team faced was that they didn't actually have a purple machine to work with. So they had to rely on intercepted messages and fragments of information to try and reverse engineer the entire system. It was like solving a jigsaw puzzle with half the pieces missing and no picture to guide them.
Wow, that's mind-boggling. I can't even imagine the level of dedication and just intellectual horsepower it must have taken to crack that code.
Yeah, it was a monumental task that required meticulous analysis, linguistic expertise, and a deep understanding of cryptography. But eventually their perseverance, it paid off. They were able to reconstruct the logic of the Purple Machine and develop methods to decipher its messages.
And this breakthrough had some pretty significant consequences, right? Especially when it came to the Battle of Midway.
Oh, absolutely. Midway was a pivotal moment in the Pacific War, and the intelligence gleaned from breaking the Purple Cipher played a crucial role in the Allied victory, decoded Japanese messages, revealed their plan to attack Midway Island, giving the U.S. Navy the opportunity to prepare an ambush and deliver a crushing blow to the Japanese fleet.
So breaking the Purple Cipher allowed the Allies to kind of turn the tables and dictate the terms of engagement, shifting the balance of power in the Pacific, a classic example of knowledge is power, especially in wartime. But this ability to see into the enemy's plans, it also raised some complex ethical questions.
You're right. Breaking an enemy's code, it doesn't just provide tactical advantages, it also comes with a heavy burden of responsibility. The Allies, they knew about upcoming attacks, but they couldn't always act on that knowledge without revealing that they'd broken the code.
So they were faced with this agonizing dilemma: intervene and potentially save lives in the short term, but risk losing the long-term intelligence advantage, or allow attacks to proceed, knowing that innocent lives might be lost in order to maintain the flow of crucial information.
Exactly. It was a moral tightrope walk with incredibly high stakes. Sometimes the Allies had to make the difficult decision to let smaller attacks go through, even though they knew the details, just to keep the enemy from realizing. The communications were compromised.
Can you imagine the weight of that decision, knowing that you have information that could save lives, but being forced to hold back for the greater good? It must have been a constant internal struggle.
Absolutely. These ethical dilemmas highlight the complex reality of wartime intelligence gathering. It's not just about breaking codes, it's also about making difficult choices, weighing the immediate consequences against the long-term strategic implication.
And those choices often came with a heavy emotional and moral price. It really makes you appreciate the sacrifices and burdens borne by those involved in this hidden war of secrets.
It's a side of history we often don't think about, but it's just as important as the battles fought on land and sea.
Absolutely. And when we look back at the legacy of World War II cryptography, it's clear that its impact extends far beyond the battlefield. The innovations, the brilliant minds that were brought together, the technological advancements that were spurred by this conflict, they've all shaped the world we live in today.
It's fascinating to think about how the work done at Bletchley Park, for instance, laid the foundation for modern computing. Alan Turing's contributions, they went beyond breaking codes. They fundamentally changed how we process information and interact with technology.
It's like a direct line from cracking Nazi codes to the smartphones in our pockets.
And the impact goes beyond technology. The collaborative approach that was so crucial to the success of code-breaking efforts during the war, that spirit of bringing together diverse skill sets and perspectives to tackle complex problems, that has become a model for problem solving in various fields today.
It's a reminder that the most challenging problems, they rarely have simple solutions. They require us to break down, silos. Step outside
Oh, they-
of our comfort zones and collaborate with people who bring different experiences and expertise to the table, just like the codebreakers
Yeah.
of World War II.
Exactly. And the story of the Navajo Code Talkers, it also underscores the importance of recognizing and valuing cultural diversity, their unique language, their cultural heritage. It became a strategic asset in a global conflict.
It's a powerful testament to the idea that sometimes the most innovative solutions come from the least expected places. We need to be open to different perspectives, to embrace the richness and complexity of the world around us, because that's where we'll find the solutions to the challenges we face.
It's a reminder that we should never underestimate the power of human ingenuity, collaboration, and the willingness to think outside the box, especially when faced with seemingly insurmountable odds.
It really makes you think, doesn't it,
Yeah.
about all the other ways that code breaking might have influenced events throughout history.
Yeah, like a hidden thread running through time.
Right.
These secret battles of wits, shaping decisions, influencing outcomes, leaving their mark in ways that we may never fully comprehend, you know?
It's a reminder that the quest for knowledge, the
Yeah.
drives to unlock secrets, that's a fundamental part of human nature.
And those secrets can be found in the most unexpected places. A forgotten code, a lost language, even a seemingly mundane piece of information could hold the key to unraveling a mystery or changing the course of events.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the secret codes of World War II, what are some of the biggest takeaways you hope listeners will remember?
Well, I hope they come away with a sense of awe for the ingenuity and determination of those who fought this invisible war. The codebreakers, the mathematicians, the linguists, they were the unsung heroes of World War II.
Yeah, they were pioneers in their fields,
Yeah.
pushing the boundaries of what was possible
Oh.
and shaping the future in ways they could never have imagined.
Their work, it laid the foundation for so much of what we take for granted today. From modern computing to the ways we protect our information. In the digital age, it's a legacy that continues to inspire. Advancements in cybersecurity, intelligence gathering, and countless other fields.
It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, human ingenuity can shine through and make a profound difference.
And it also highlights the importance of collaboration, of bringing together diverse minds and skill sets to tackle complex problems. You know, the success stories of World War II code breaking, they weren't just about individual brilliance, they were about teamwork, communication, and the willingness to learn from each other.
And finally, I think it's a reminder that the pursuit of knowledge, the desire to understand the world around us, it's a journey that never truly ends.
There are always new codes to break, new mysteries to unravel, and new challenges to overcome.
So keep those minds engaged, keep asking questions, and never stop exploring, because who knows what secrets are still out there waiting to be discovered.
You might just be the one to crack the next unbreakable code.
Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive into the Futh, Secret Codes of World War II. We hope you enjoyed the journey. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those curiosity fires burning.